Hey y'all, Laura, Peaks for Pounds. I'm here to talk about my 2024 Appalachian Trail Thru-Hike and how I'm preparing for that. I've broken down my training strategy into 3 parts actually. Emotional, mental, and physical, because I believe all 3 are important for a successful thru-hike. They say thru-hiking the Appalachian Trail, all 2,200 miles or so of it, is the equivalent of climbing Mount Everest 16 times because of the elevation gain. When you think about it that way, that's a little overwhelming to say the least. How on earth could one prepare for such a thing? Well, I believe it starts with knowing yourself. I believe it starts with an emotional well-being. And for me, what that means is, how am I going to cope on the hard days? Because I know going into it, there's going to be a lot of hard days. Emotionally, when I prepare for that, well, I think about, what is it that would take me off trail? Loneliness. I think about, being with the folks back home, and I don't really have to be out here, but I'm choosing to be out here suffering. The trail in the woods in particular at night can be a very foreboding place when you're all alone. It can be lonely. So I'm trying to cope with that, preparing myself for that by doing a lot of soul searching actually. Knowing what makes me tick inside, knowing how to motivate myself and how to be kind to myself in circumstances where I'm going to be stressed out. It's just really a soul searching, I guess is what you would call it. Emotional preparation also, I think, has to do with preparing yourself socially. How are you going to deal with strangers? How are you going to deal with new folks that come your way on the trail, sleeping in a shelter with 13 or 14 complete strangers snoring all night? Believe it or not, I'm not a highly social person. I like a lot of alone time, and I'm pretty shy when it comes to meeting new folks for the first time. Then I warm up. So I'm trying to work on my social skills to help me emotionally deal with that new challenge of the trail. I'm also trying to strengthen my relationships at home, with my family, with my friends. I'm involving absolutely everybody in this thru-hike. If you watch my first video on why I'm thru-hiking the Appalachian Trail, one of the big reasons is because I wanted to grow my social connections. I wanted to develop better social connections with people. And I think that starts at home. I think it's very, very important to have a support group, a large support group for such an undertaking. So everyone in my family has known for months that I'm going to do this. My closest friends have known. And now I'm finding that you find folks out there that are watching my channel, that are subscribing and commenting. There's so much support coming through. It's just overwhelming. And I haven't even hiked the first mile yet. So to all you trail angels out there, thank you in advance. I will absolutely take you up on any support you give me, because I'm hiking it for me. That's the number one reason, but it's really about all of us. It's about anyone who has goals and dreams, who wants to achieve them, but there's so many obstacles in the way, or you just thought you could never do it based on circumstances. I'm hoping that my thru-hike will maybe speak to folks that yes, you can do it. So yes, I'm calling on my support staff out there, my friends, my trail angels, my family, everybody who's going to help me get up that trail. Also preparing myself emotionally on a more spiritual level, in a faith sense thing where, it's not going to just be me. I do firmly believe that God and the trail will provide, that there is a higher power looking out for me. And however you see that, if you have faith, if you don't have faith, whatever it is you believe in, I believe that, you got to at least have faith in yourself. And so I'm trying to strengthen that, to give myself more of a base of, where do I turn? Who do I call out to? And that'll come in more videos. I'll share some of my thoughts on that. A lot of that is coming through meditation. My relationship with nature is going to help in this emotional challenge that I'm going to undertake. How do I feel about sleeping outside in the woods? How do I feel about the stillness and the not so stillness of the forest and animals? And how am I going to deal with encounters with snakes and bears and things like that. These are all emotional preparations that I'm trying to teach myself through, like I said, meditation and reading books and watching other YouTubers and just getting as much support and as much, information as I can. And then third and finally is the physical preparation, and that's a big one. This is a daunting task. Hiking 2,200 miles is a big challenge for the most fit hiker. And here I am, 55, 56 years old in April, and I'm going to undertake the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, no doubt. So a lot of you have asked what I'm doing to prepare for that, and trust me, I'm not sitting on my laurels. I'm out there and I'm hiking. I'm carrying my pack on my hikes with full weight, and we'll go over base weight and full weight in a future video. I'm hitting the gym on a daily basis. What I'm focusing on more than anything in my physical preparation is, believe it or not, it's not weight loss. In fact, this is not a weight loss channel. If anyone's tuned in for weight loss tips, you've come to the wrong place. This is about starting where you are. And that will follow, no doubt. But it's starting where I am, and what I'm really focusing on, y'all, is my stamina, my endurance, carrying my backpack on my hikes, my daily walks, wherever, carrying my backpack to the gym, getting on the treadmill, on an incline with my full weighted pack, training my heart, my cardio, doing the stair climber, all those things that kind of mimic some of the stuff that's going to happen on the trail. I'm also focusing not just on stamina, but I'm focusing on flexibility. Because I found on some shorter hikes that, I need to be able to step up into higher, rocks and different things. I'm not a real tall person. I'm 5'4", and so some of these step ups are a little challenging, especially with a pack. So I'm working on my range of motion. I want to make sure that, hey, when it's freezing out and it's raining, and I'm in my little one-person tent, that I can have the maneuverability to get up and put on a cold pair of wet socks. Those little details that I know on trail are going to play on my mental and my emotional. And I guess I didn't really get into the mental too much, but I should back up, because that's probably the most important one, is the mental preparation. A lot of other hikers have told me, man, you got to prepare your mind. It's a mental game. Your mind's going to try to talk you out of this, and I can see how that can happen. I've been in situations where my body was screaming. For example, Blood Mountain. It was a challenging hike for me, and the whole time going, my body's pushing, but my mind's saying, you know what, you're not going to make it. You're going to run out of daylight, and you forgot your headlamp, and it's all these what ifs. So I'm really trying to work on my mental, they call it nowadays, headspace, and where I'm at, and how will I deal with these situations. Mental is really, really important, because it's that one thing that's going to say to me, you don't got to do this. So many people have commented and mentioned that most folks get off the trail, they try to justify reasons that, hey, I've got all I need to get out of this. I don't really need to do it anymore. And while that may be very much the truth, I can also see how, knowing myself, I will try to talk myself out of things. So I want to prepare myself for the challenges mentally. And again, a lot of that comes from studying the trails, studying other thru-hikers' experiences. A big one for me is understanding my gear. Getting the absolute right gear that I think is going to work for me, testing my gear, and you'll see that on some shakedown hikes I'm going to do, and being confident in that gear. Personally, for me, when I feel like I'm prepared and everything's organized, call me OCD, I feel confident. So I want to be confident in my gear. Even if I'm only hiking 5 miles in a day, I want to be confident that what I'm wearing, what I'm carrying, what I'm sleeping in is going to do me justice. It's going to keep me safe and dry. So right now is an exciting time. I've probably single-handedly raised the value of REI stocks in the last 30 days. Trying out, purchasing new gear. And that's a good thing, because I want to be ready. I want to make the right choices, and I want to share those choices with you. So stay tuned for future videos on gear. But that kind of summarizes it, y'all. I'm not training in any one particular way. I'm trying to train in every way I can imagine that's going to present an obstacle for me, whether it's an emotional, a mental, or a physical obstacle. And when I do these upcoming through hikes that I'm going to share with y'all, I'm really going to pay attention to what's working. I'm going to pay attention to what my body is saying. I'm going to pay attention to what my mind is saying and how I'm feeling and how my gear is working, because I don't think there's just one thing that gets us from Springer Mountain to Katahdin. I think it's a collection of experiences, good and bad and different. That's what the trail is all about, and that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the physical challenge. I'm looking forward to meeting new people and sharing in new experiences. I'm looking forward to sharing all this with y'all. And by the way, I just want to thank you for all of the comments y'all been posting and all the tips and stuff. Bring it on, man. There's nothing too small. I want to hear it all. I want to hear y'all's experiences. And all you trail angels, like I said, I cannot wait to meet you. I thank you so much for your support in advance. This is just a wonderful community, and I'm an honor to soon be a part of it on my 2024 Appalachian Trail through hike. So stay tuned for more videos on shakedown hikes, on gear review, on how I'm doing in each of these categories, emotional, mental, physical. I'm going to keep talking about it, y'all. And till next time, happy trails.